All right. All right, so we should be recorded now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and go ahead and pull up my PowerPoint. We have a lot of stuff to go over today about the library with us being reopened now and things that we can offer you guys this school year. Hopefully some really good resources that you will be able to share with your students if you are choosing in person or virtually this year. Let me go ahead and share. Oh, okay. Let me grab. Bear with me, sorry. All right. Can everyone see that? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right. So welcome to this year's library breakfast. I said before, if anybody joined us before I had gotten started, go ahead in the chat. There is a link to a form. Please go ahead and fill that out for me so I know what resources you would like at the end of this presentation to send them to you. So there are lots of things that are different about the library right now. We have been open to the public for about 2 months now, almost 2 months. We reopened in June, and we were doing curbside service before that, but I think a lot of people didn't know we were doing curbside service. That is something we are going to continue into the right now with the pandemic going on as well, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So we are going to talk about today, there are going to be 4 different parts of this presentation. We are going to talk about library services for fall 2020. We're going to talk about outreach services for educators that we're going to be able to offer. And we're going to talk about how to use our new website, because we actually did during all of this launch our new website, and it is a little bit different where some of the buttons are and how you find information. And so I do want to go over an overview of the new website for you guys so you can kind of see what that looks like. And then at the end, I will take questions. And if you have questions in the middle of me speaking of things that you are curious about as I go through all of this, because a lot of this is really brand new, and this is something that since we've been open for 2 months now, it's really stuff that we've been able to test with the public. And so I can explain a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of how we came about those decisions, why we're doing them, where did we get our information from, and how has this really worked in an actual library setting with people in the public and children during all of this, because library services, the last 2 months that we have been open, have looked very, very differently. And we have learned, I think, a lot in here as we have tried things about what works and what doesn't work, just from personal experience. So we'll go ahead and get started. We are going to do library services for fall 2020. So these are things that right now, as of August the 5th at 9 a.m., these things are true. However, if anything changes in the next week or 2 weeks, and it could, as Governor Beshear issues more mandates and things, this could all change. But as of August 5th at 9 a.m. right now, these are our library services for fall 2020. So number 1 is, yes, we are actually open to the public. We have had a lot of phone calls. People still think we're closed, but we've been open for almost 2 months now. So our hours of operation are much different though than they have ever been. So right now our hours of operation are Monday through Saturday from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And a lot of decisions went into making that. I will say, I think it has worked out pretty well, our hours right now. We have been, I think, had a steady stream of people in here, especially between, I think, the hours of 1 and 3 o'clock. We are seeing a lot more families come in now and people who are realizing that we are open. As long as nothing changes statewide with mandates, or if we decide to make changes to those hours, right now they are going to be Monday through Saturday from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. We also are still doing curbside service though in the morning. So we've kind of reserved those hours in the morning. So we are in here working. We are here at 9 a.m. and we are answering the phones at 9 a.m. And someone can get a hold of us at that time if you call in. But the curbside service has been kind of, I think it's been good for us, and some people are still doing it and want it. And I think we will continue to offer that service with everything going on right now. We are quarantining our books for 48 hours when they are returned, and then we are cleaning them with a bleach solution. And another reason I think our hours are limited currently is because we do have to clean the books in the morning, and that does take time to clean them, organize them, put them on the shelf before people get in here. And we wear gloves when we are handling the items when they've been quarantined. We wear gloves too when we use the bleach solution. The bleach is really harsh on your hands. For anyone who is wondering about what kind of solution to use for their own books in their own public library, yes, I do. I do have the articles. This was from Carrie. Do you have any articles that reference him? Yes, I do. Actually, I have a webinar I'm going to give you guys. And the webinar was from, it was a joint webinar from the CDC. There was a couple CDC doctor. Yes, there is many different variations. Now, this webinar was held back in April, and we now know there is some different procedures for board books than that we are doing now, because board books, they're saying it can live up to, I think because of the surface material of that hard surface, that it can live up a little bit longer than the 48 hours. So we're actually quarantining those separate from all our other books right now. And so, but then after they have sat for 48 hours, we have a water and bleach solution that we're using to clean all of the jackets. We are not circulating right now newspapers, magazines, star kits, or experience kits. So we are not doing that right now. Just because the nature of the star kits and the experience kits, they have manipulatables in them that are really hard to clean. And I'm not even sure how I would clean all the board game pieces. And then, of course, the newspapers and the magazines, it's just harder. See, Sarah says standard on the KYLMS server seems to be 4 days hold, though not sure of their source. Got it. I'm going to give you guys, let's see, right here. So this is the webinar that is in the notes of this PowerPoint that I will send out. So make sure to fill out that questionnaire I gave in the chat so I can give you guys these sources, okay? So this is mitigating COVID-19 when managing paper-based, circulating, and other types of collections. This was the Museum Library Institute and a joint venture with them and the CDC. And I think that I feel like there keeps coming out lots of different ideas about what is good and what is, you know, but I think with us being we've been open now for, I mean, we've been circulating materials since April, and we haven't really had any issues with what the CDC recommended. And so we have a quarantine room. Now, I think that was the biggest thing, like, where are you going to put this? If you don't have a space for a giant room to put all of your books that are coming and going, you know, that can be difficult. But we are using right now the quiet study room as our quarantine room. And as we check the book drops through the day, we do wear gloves. We put the books in the quarantine room. They sit those 2 days, and then we have the solution we're cleaning them with. And that is what they recommended. They said you could either quarantine them for 72 hours and not clean them, or you could quarantine them for 48 hours and then clean them. We decided to just go ahead and clean the books with the bleach anyway. I think especially some of the kids' books just get dirty on their own. And I think it was a good idea for us to go ahead and take that extra step of making sure we're cleaning every single book before it goes back on the shelf after it's been quarantined. So if you have any more questions about that, you can ask me. This webinar really was great too, and a lot of the librarians had lots of similar questions because they, at the end, the librarians who were on this webinar did get to ask the CDC people a lot of questions I think maybe they hadn't even thought of. You know, because I think as librarians, you know, we realize that books go in babies' mouths, and we realize, you know, that you know, people touch things and they put it back, and you know, so what are we going to do about all of that? We in here we also have a table too, so if people decide that they don't want to check out a book after they've touched it, they put it on the table and then we take care of it, so we can re-clean it, re-quarantine it, whatever we need to do with that materials. I know that in the children's department they have been doing that. Let's see. What is the bleach solution you use? Patty, I think it's the bleach. Will you answer that? I believe it's just bleach and water, the recommended ratio that they recommend for that. Let's see, I think she's typing. Yeah, 1/3 cup bleach, 1 gallon of water. Yeah. And we haven't had an issue getting the bleach at all. We've been very, very lucky. And so we haven't run out of cleaning solution this entire time because we've been able to get the bleach. So it's been good. I do recommend wearing gloves though when you are cleaning the things, because the bleach can really hurt your hands. So that is how we are doing all of that. Also during this, we really don't have any fines on overdue items right now. And we also did a fine forgiveness. If you guys were on Facebook, or you would have maybe got an email blast about this, from when we closed, we forgave anything that was on accounts from before then. So if you have a damaged item now, like if you returned an item now and it's damaged, we are going to ask you to pay for that. But anything that was on your account from when we closed, even if you had lost materials or fines from before we were closed, we went ahead and wiped all of that because we really wanted to make it easy for people to come back and use the library. And I think we've been pretty successful with that. So those are some things that are kind of different in here. We have spaced things out tremendously as well in the library. I should have taken some pictures, but our DVDs, if you have any collection in your library and you're going to have people in there, think about what is the most popular section of your library. Where do people look at books the most? And figure out some way to space it out. So what we did is we took over the cafe and we put our bookshelves in there. That's actually going to be the Friends bookstore at some point. And we took all the audiobooks, we moved them, and then we spaced out all the DVDs, because we know that the DVD collection is a pretty popular collection here at the library, and we wanted to give more room so we could get that 6 feet that everyone would have from each other while they were browsing sections. So that is something to think about. What section in your library is the most busy? And try to figure out some way that you can space that out. So we did that. Some other things, of course, we have the mask mandate now. It is required to enter the building. And we have someone stationed at the front door. So we are counting people that come into the building, and we have a number of how many people are allowed to be in the building at one time. We have not reached our maximum capacity yet. We've been pretty fortunate. I will say that we have several times reached the capacity in the children's department though. So we have an overall number for the whole building, but we also have a specific number for the children's department and how many bodies can be back there because of the square footage back there. And that number is 12. there can only be 12 people back in the children's department at one time. So I will say, if you have need to come check out stuff at the library, or you have a big family, just know you might have to wait a little while if there's 12 people already back there. And I'll get into that a little bit more. Also, we have notary services again, but it is by appointment only. Because of our reduced hours, and because we are in the people who work here on a different schedule as well. Some of us are still having days at home that we're working. We can only really do notary services if we can do it by appointment. And I know this is especially appointment at the very beginning of the school year, because usually this time of year is when I would do tons of notaries for the schools of children who needed a proof of address that they lived somewhere. So, so let's say they're living at grandma's house, they're in this school district, they're actually in this school district because of their mom, but they're going to go to this school. Or they moved, sometimes they move into a friend's house and they need a proof of address that they live at that address, and you have to have that paper notarized. And so that is something to remember to tell any of your students or any of your faculty or your people that if they need those papers signed to start school, they need to make an appointment for the notary job, because there may not be one here if they just walk in the door. Also, computers right now, we have severely limited our number of computers that you can access right now. And because of that, we do have a half-hour limit right now on the computers. And so you can still come in and get on the internet. We have Wi-Fi throughout the building, of course. I will say we do have limited seating right now. We have one chair per table in the library. And I have had a lot of parents come up to me, and students, and even teenagers, and I think a couple college kids, and you know, have said, you know, I just need some place quiet to study. I'm doing everything online this year. I want to be able to come in. And yes, we are open for them to come in and sit at a table. But it can get busy in here, and I have seen it several times where every single table is taken up with one person. And so if you can also access the internet as well from outside. So if people need to access the internet, we've been telling them, if there's no place inside to sit, you can sit in your car with your laptop and get the Wi-Fi. You can do that. So that is something to remember. We have closed all of our study rooms. Right now, there's no study rooms, and there is no access to any of our meeting rooms either. With the new state mandate of 10 people or fewer, right now we can't really open our meeting rooms anyway, especially our big ones, to the public to use. And the study rooms, we right now, a lot of them have, some of them have furniture in them actually from us getting rid of stuff. And then right now we don't foresee us opening the study rooms, but we do have tables. They can come in and sit as long as there is a place to do that. Okay, and then materials. So we do, of course, have the in-person option. This is available to everyone during our operating hours. You can pick up your holds, you can browse, you can drop off your books inside if you'd rather come inside. We do have one book drop open if you don't want to come inside, and it is attached to the building. It is the old book drop that is attached to the building, not the one out in the parking lot. That is the freestanding one. Right now. We also can provide curbside service. So this is something we started back in April, and I think it has worked extremely well. And I think it is something we will be keeping up for right now as much as there is need for it. So it is during certain hours in the mornings and in the afternoons. And what happens is when you put a book on hold at the library right now, we will give you a call and we will say, would you like to pick this book up in person when we are open? Or would you like to pick up this book curbside? And then if you decide that you want to curbside, so you don't have to come in the building, we will set up an appointment or a time for you to come. You'll pull around to the back of the parking lot. That is the entrance that faces Marshall Park. So if you come straight, if you were coming in from the front of the library, you would take a left, and you go all the way around to the back of the building. And it is the exit door where the magazines are. And then you will give us a call on your cell phone, on our number. And then we will say, okay, give me your name, and we will run it out the back door to you. It's really easy. The book is already checked out to you. We don't need to see your library card. Your due slip is already in the bag, and we just hand it to you, and that's it. And so this is available to anyone who doesn't feel comfortable coming into the building, and it's been going pretty good. So let's see. And then we also, one of the newer things we are doing is porch delivery. So this is something that we started out in outreach. And if you fall, it's available for those who can't get to the library safely. And we are kind of opening up what porch delivery, what outreach means during this time right now. So if you were part of the vulnerable population, as indicated by the CDC for COVID-19, which includes a whole host of different things, and in the PowerPoint slides, I have linked to what the CDC says is a vulnerable population, so you can take a look at that whole list of things. But it includes things like diabetes, asthma, obesity, age, illness, a whole host of different things, blood pressure. And so if you fall into one of those vulnerable populations as indicated by the CDC, we will bring books and deliver them to your front door, and it is contactless. So, and also if you are a caretaker of someone who is considered a vulnerable population as well. We have added several families who they're taking care of grandma or grandpa, and they can't really leave the house either. Because they can't bring it back to the person they're taking care of. And it's not that they can't get to the library, it's that it's really not a good idea for them to go out in public right now. Some families who are maybe taking care of a kid who has really bad asthma, like if your son has really bad asthma and you just really can't go out in public right now because he can't get sick, we can set up porch delivery for you. And so you just call the library, say, you know, I need to set up a porch delivery. We don't need to know your medical reason for it. We trust our patrons for the reason about why they need porch delivery. And I think this is something that is going to stay around for a while. So how this works is you will call the library. You will say, let's see, did I get it? Never mind. So how this works is you call the library, you say, I need to set up a porch delivery. You'll talk to somebody back at outreach. We will go ahead and pull your library card information up, and we will ask you what you need to put on hold. And this is something you can even do, like if you want to set up just regular holds or curbside, just so you know. So if you are a teacher, or if you have students who are maybe don't know how to go online and put stuff on hold, tell them just to call the library. We will not bite, we swear. And we can talk over the phone. So if there's a kid who knows that he wants a fantasy book, but he doesn't know what kind of fantasy book he wants, he can talk to a librarian here, and we can pull some stuff and put it on hold, and they can, you can pick it up then either in person or curbside. So that is something to remember that we offer everyone. Just give us a call and we can personally go ahead and pull some stuff for you. But porch delivery is a little bit different. So we do that, we pull everything, we check it out, and then we set up a time slot that we're gonna drop off at your house. We give a call before we show up, and any books that they have to return, they put them in a Kroger bag, hang them on their door for us to pick up. And then we take their returns, we put their new books on their front porch and leave. We are wearing gloves and a mask. And then we give them a call and say, we deposited your books at your front door and you can get them. It's contactless, and I've been very happy with the way it has been running in here right now. And so we have those options for anyone. You can always call the library and we'll answer the phone and answer any questions anybody has. All right, and then so putting items on hold, I talked about this a little bit before, of course, online through the catalog. You can put stuff on hold. The lockers in Sadieville are open now, so if you need items, run to Sadieville to put in the lockers, we can do that. And the book drops in Sadieville and Stamping Ground are open now, so you can return items at those locations as well. So you can put items on hold through the catalog. You can do it over the phone. Like I said, just give us a call. If you are a teacher that needs some books put on hold, let us know. Roseanne also wanted me to remind everyone that if you have a class assignment where a kid needs a book on dinosaurs or whatever it is, to call and let us know. And what Roseanne can do is she can go ahead and pull those books and put them on a cart. So if a lot of kids come in at once to pick up those books, then we can socially distance and have them on the cart and the kids can get the books and go on. And so if there's anything like that, like a big assignment where we know that they're going to need a ton of, we're going to need a ton of certain kind of book, just let us know. I do want to mention that right now we are going to put a limit on nonfiction books this coming fall in the children's department. So a limit of 5 nonfiction books on one subject in the children's department. I have had already a lot of parents in who have said, I'm going to be homeschooling my kid this year. We're going to be at the library every single Friday. This is going to be our new normal. And I have a feeling that, you know, in November, you know, all of the Thanksgiving books will be checked out. And if they're doing a unit on space, you know, and everyone's doing a unit on space, then, you know, we don't want one family to come in and check out 30 books on one subject and then not have enough for other people. So that is something that we are going to be doing. We're going to be very politely asking to please limit 5 nonfiction books on one subject this year. Okay, let's see. Outreach educator resources. So this is what we can do for you this year. This is going to look a little different than what we've offered in the past, of course, but we wanted to offer many different choices and ways for us to be able to interact with you and your students during this. So we can Zoom with classrooms. This is something that I'm going to be offering to anyone, anyone who has a classroom that needs this. So you can email me and set up with me, or teachers as well. So if you have a teacher that you know that is going to need this, who is teaching virtually online, I will set up a Zoom meeting with that classroom, and we will be able to, I will talk a little bit more about that later. We're also going to have Ready Reference, online programs, and In the Margins project. So these are 4 things that we're going to be able to offer you guys this fall. So let's start with Zooming with classrooms. There's me. So what is that going to look like? I will be able to talk to your classroom about how to apply for a library card. I think a lot of students still are nervous about what that looks like. You can actually apply for a library card online now and get a temporary ID. And be able to start using that. And then we can talk a little bit about how you can go about picking up your physical card. During the pandemic, we were mailing out new cards to people's addresses. If there is some reason that your student can't come in person because of a health issue or that kind of reason, to their parent to come pick up their physical card, they can call us and we can mail it out. We can still do that. Now, of course, we can also, if they come in, of course, the parent will have to get a card first. That's usually the caveat. So the kid can't just get a card on their own. The parent has to get a card and attach them to the child. But they can do all that online now. Like, it's really simple. And I'll show you guys our website a little bit about what that looks like. I can also talk about how to use the catalog. I can talk about how to use library electronic resources, how to use our website, options for materials and how to pick them up, and I can tailor it to your needs. So let's say your kids are going to have to do the 40 book challenge this year. And they don't know how to use our catalog to search for a science fiction book in children's, and they want a tween book. I can show them how to use our search engine so that they can tailor it for what they're actually looking for, and then they'll be able to use our catalog more efficiently. So if you have a certain thing or need that you're trying to get across to your students, we can tailor it to what you need. And we can talk about that. And that's actually as well in the form that I sent out as well. So if you click on that form, one of the check mark boxes you can click is set up a time for a Zoom classroom meeting, and I will email you personally about my availability and when we can set those up. As well. Have you all ever thought about an online card only that would allow patrons to just use online resources but not physical materials? Yes, we've thought about it. The logistics of it are, the logistics of it are not the greatest is the issue. So that is something that Patty has tried for a very long time, and it never, it's a mess. So the physical card, really honestly, right now we have made it so easy for them to get a physical card. Like, you can get a card online. You can sign up for a card online, get a temporary ID. And Patty, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can go ahead and start using that ID, right?
Right. The moment you sign up as an online borrower through the website, that card is good. And then we are mailing everyone's card out. Every week we're pulling that list and we're mailing everyone who signed up as an online borrower. We're mailing their cards to them and just asking that they prove their address of next time they come in. We have really tried in years past, now not this present year, but we really would like to have every student have an online only card that's actually issued through the school system. And we've tried for a couple of years now to work through the school system to accomplish that. But there's some issues with privacy of student information that they don't want to network with us. So we get through one hurdle and then there's another. So we haven't given up, but right now is not the time during all the pandemic chaos to ask them to revisit this again. But it is an idea that we've pushed out there a couple of years in a row unsuccessfully, but we haven't given up on it. So but it is really easy for anybody to get a card now, and we'll mail them the cards if they can't come in. So
yeah, and so I mean, really, and then also I got an email. I mean, not email. I just got any way to extend the expiration dates. Yes, just call us on the phone. If your card is expired, please call the library. We can update cards over the phone. All right. You do not have to come in to do that. You give us a call, we get your birthday, we confirm all the information that's on your account, and then we change the date for you so it's not expired anymore. I have done so many over the phone in the last 3-4 months, and it is very easy. They just have to give us a call and we do it over the phone. Easy peasy.
I decline over the phone.
Let's see, and then let's see, Mercedes, how do you recommend Zooming with 3rd, 5th graders since just AMELA would be 9 separate Zooms? Yeah. Okay. So I can set up, if we can get a big, okay, so I have a Zoom account and I can send out a Zoom link to you. And then you could give that Zoom link to all your third, fourth, fifth graders. If you want to do just one big session, that's fine. And I can do a presentation. If you would rather it be a smaller classroom size, I can do that too. I mean, I have it basically tailored at this point that I can give this presentation in my sleep. So it will not be too hard for me to, to do how many that needs to be done. So you just need to set up with me. Do you want me to set up the Zoom meeting and then I can send you out the link? Do you want me to hop on your Zoom meeting and you can just send me the link? It's just going to be us scheduling a time that is going to work for you and letting me know what grade level I'm working with as well, because the information I give third and fifth graders is going to be different. It's going to be delivered in a different way than the same information that I deliver to a high school setting, if that makes any sense. I have renewed over the phone. The issue is that you were not alerted through Libby. That is the reason it stops working. I have no control over Libby. But I do understand the frustration, especially with Hoopla right now. As well, a lot of people have had issues with Hoopla because I think they updated their app and then you actually had to physically go in and like retype your library card and PIN number and stuff. And I was getting kicked out too, as well out of Hoopla, and I was really frustrated. And then I had to figure out what I had done wrong. So even librarians, man, let's see. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So if you need me to Zoom with your classroom, I am more than happy to do this. I know that a lot of people are going to be using a lot of virtual resources this year. We have a lot of electronic resources, no matter what grade level you are in. We have electronic resources for you to use. We also have tutor.com, which I don't think a lot of kids know about. I'm hoping it gets utilized this school year. It's something we pay for that we have. And they can actually talk to a real live person, like, through Zoom or chat, and get help with their homework. And I think that is going to be really important as kids are trying to learn how to do their own work at home. And maybe they get stuck on something that maybe not everyone else is stuck on, but they have some place they can go and ask somebody to help them. So if you want any of these resources, please just contact me. We will set up the Zoom meeting. I really want to make sure that all of your students, no matter what grade level, have this information. I think it's going to be really important for them as if they're working at home, to be able to have this. So there's that. And of course, my email address. Also handouts. So I know that there is currently, if nothing has changed, there's 3 options for school this year. There is in-person, virtual, and then paper and pencil. So if you want handouts, that for students to pass out, like physical things, I can have my courier drop them off at the front door of the school for you to put in your mailbox, and then you can go ahead and give them out to your students. Oh, I need to update the Kentucky Virtual Library Resources. Don't look at that. That's the wrong username and password. And I have different handouts for you as well. And it has information about how to get a library. It has all the information that I would kind of do through a Zoom as well. I like the idea of Zooming with classrooms because I can answer questions at the same time. And I think not every classroom needs are going to be different as well. But this can be some basic information. If anybody is choosing the paper and pencil method of education this year, that way they could at least have a physical thing of, this is what the library has, if I need something, this is the hours they're open, they do have computers if I need to print anything, anything like that. And that is one of the check mark boxes as well that you can click in that form that I gave you. And then ready reference. So I, when I Zoom with your classrooms on the pamphlets that I hand out, I am going to, oh, go back. Oh, no, go back. Oh, well, it's okay. It was just my email address. It's okay to give your students my email address. It's okay for them to email me if they have ready reference questions about library resources. I know sometimes that some of the kids can be intimidated to call the library, and I understand that can be hard. And some of the kids might be feel more comfortable with email. So if they are online trying to use Hoopla and they just can't figure it out and they need some help, they can email me and I will answer back. And it's really okay to go ahead and give them my email address if they need help with any of our library resources or if they have questions about anything. We also have online programs as well this fall. If you have teenagers, family, or anyone who they're not gonna have that same, you know, kind of school connection because they they're at home and they don't have club. Well, I don't know if you guys are doing clubs or not. Maybe you guys are doing Zoom clubs. I don't know. But if they want to participate in something and get involved, maybe they're a junior in high school and they really wanted to like pad their, this was the year that they needed to, pad their resume for colleges, and they need to join something. We do have things for them to do and join here, and it is virtual. So I do have these handouts as well that I can give out to anyone. Lauren is our new teen librarian. She's amazing. And she has planned programs this fall that they can join virtually. She's still going to do Teen Advisory Board. She is still going to be doing that. And so they can join that and be part of that group if they're looking for that. And so these are other handouts that I can give out. And also all the handouts I can give you in person, I can also just send you the PDF file and you can attach them in an email to any of your students as well if you just want to email it out and save some paper. If you've got kids who are doing virtually online and you would rather do it that way, we can do it that way too. And that might be easier for you to send out a PDF. And that's why in the form it says, do you want like physical handouts or would you like just a PDF file? Because I can send both. All of our programs are they are listed in our online calendar currently right now for September and October. They are in there. We will be sending out a physical newsletter in the mail to every household in Scott County for September, October with this information as well. So look in your mailbox soon, soonish as well before September, because that will be coming and that will be sent to all the mailboxes as well. So we've got family board games night, trivia nights. We've got all kinds of stuff for all different age ranges. So you can look online at what we're offering. Let's see, virtual teen book bites. Okay, so we have tween book bites, which is for ages 8 to 12, and we have teen book bites, which is ages 12 and up. And so usually this time of year is when I'm first starting to schedule my book bites to come into the schools. And I'm guessing this year, right now, while everyone is trying to figure things out, that doesn't look like a possibility. So what I started while we're figuring out what school's going to look like this year is virtual teen book bites. And these are located on our Facebook page. We are, the teen book bites is being done the last Thursday of every month with Lauren and I, and then Mary Lou and Kelly are doing the tween book bites for ages 8 to 12, and they're doing those a little bit more frequently than me right now. And they are available to watch. We save them on our Facebook as well, so you can go back and look at them. Now, Book Bites is a program that we had that Mary Lou started before I was here, and it is when we go into the schools and we talk about new books for that age group, and then they are able to check out the books from us. And so all the books, the virtual teen book bites that we're doing are books that they can check out from the library, or they're available through Overdrive or Libby, Overdrive or Hoopla as well. And so you could share those videos with your students. So if you've got a 13, 14-year-old teen who's doing virtually online and they don't know what to read next, you could send them our Facebook link videos. They could watch them and maybe get an idea of a couple new books that maybe they would be interested in reading, whether it be for a project or for pleasure reading as well. So those are available online. And Teen Advisory Board open for new members. If you've got a 12 to 18-year-old who wants something to join and be part of something this fall, think about encouraging them to be part of our Teen Advisory Board. And they can email Lauren at scottpublib.org if they are interested in emailing, or just show up at one of the Zoom meetings too. There, you can register for the Teen Advisory Board meetings through our calendar online. And then, let's see, in the margins. Okay, so this is something that we had done previously a few years ago in the library, and now we are going to be kind of taking it out into the community. So all book bites are available to check out through Hoopla? No, no. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Usually we try to say when something is available virtually. My hope is that maybe we could do a special book bites at some point where it's just online books that we can talk about. Actually, some of our Facebook posts from March and April that I did, we have ones that are just check out through Hoopla or Overdrive. So if you go back into our Facebook posts, I did do a few of them, and I can resend them to you if you want me to. And they are book recommendations that are available just online. So back in March and April, I did do a few of those book reviews that are available for just ebooks. The ones now that we're doing for book bites, they are ones that we have physically in the library. Some of them are available on Hoopla or Libby. But of course the student can check them out from us as well, from the library, and we can do curbside, in person, or if they can't make it to the library because of COVID, we can do porch delivery. So hopefully that answers your question, Beth. So we're also going to be doing in the margins. So what that was a few years ago is we had these special collection of books, and they were specially cataloged, and they said on them in the margins, and you were able to check them out, and you were able to draw pictures in them, write in them, make notes, leave a review. You were able to draw pictures. I had some kids who drew amazing pictures in the books, and we asked them not to write mean things. We asked them not to draw anything they shouldn't. And we did it for over a year, and I never had a kid write anything they shouldn't. So I was kind of surprised because we did it in the tween collection and in the teen collection as well. And they were able to check these books out from us. So one of the things that we are going to be doing this year is in the Margins Project, we're going to drop these off at locations. I just sent my first batch to the Sapling Center for the teens who were there, and they are going to be books. They are donated books and books that are not in the catalog. They are books that we don't necessarily need back. So if a book gets lost, it's okay. And if you have students who are doing in person, you could circulate this with them, and it's kind of like the largest game of telephone with words and pictures ever. And then you would quarantine the book, and then another student would be able to get it and write their own comments and reviews and pictures in it. And after you've quarantined the book, I think it's perfectly fine to pass on, as long as you take all those steps. I wanted to do something this fall where we could have connections with each other in a way that were meaningful. If we could not, if some of your students couldn't actually be in the same place with each other. And so we have new books as well. So this is not just older books. I do have new books like Suzanne Collins' new book, and I've got middle school books and high school books. And so if you are going to do in person and you would like us to drop off some in the margins books for your students, let us know. Any students who are doing virtually online, they can come in here and check them out with their library card. Miss Mary Lou and Lauren are going to have their own section of in the margins that are check outable in the library. And on the in the margins books that we are taking to you guys, they do say, please come to the Scott County Public Library and check out another in the margins book if you want another one. And so if that is something that you want, please just, it's in the form I gave you, check mark it, and I'll get with you and we can talk about what you would like me to drop off. We might not be able to come into your library, but at least we can leave some stuff with you. So hopefully some people will take me up on that. I was really happy the Sapling Center yesterday posted a picture of all the books that we dropped off for them, and that made me feel good. So we're going to try to do that in a couple of community places. I'm also contacting the nursing homes and some of the retirement communities, and we're going to do the in the margins there as well, hopefully. And because I want this to be kind of a cross-generational thing, no matter age. And hopefully something that we can do out in the community. So we've got that going on. And just so you know, In the Margins has been around for a while. It's something that the American Library Association started years ago that they had done one year. And I have that information of where all of that idea came from and all the wording and everything. And I believe it's in the PowerPoint, the link to the American Library Association as well, if you would like to look at that. So our new website, okay, I'm going to switch over now to our new website and we're going to spend a few minutes looking at that, and then I will take any questions and we'll be done. All right, all right, can everybody see our new website? Yes, perfect. I love our new website. I think it is so much easier to navigate. It looks cleaner. The most up-to-date information is going to be found here. So you can see on that front page right now, it says mask required for entry. If there is any changes to our hours, if there is any changes to new mandates that the governor puts out that we need to follow, we will first post on our website. So you can look there. And look there for that. So it's very clean and also it's mobile friendly. One of the things that has happened, we did update LS2 and we also updated our website. And so if you have the Scott County Public Library mobile app, it does not work anymore, just so you know. And honestly, our new website kind of takes the place of that because it is mobile friendly and you are able to use it on your mobile devices at home much more easy. And so right there, everything you need to know is in big bold. Search the catalog. You type in what you want. It's going to take you directly to the catalog. Our hours are right there. Our contact information right there. Renew materials, get a library card. If they want to get a library card, they literally click this button. You're going to be taken to this page. You fill it out and you will be given a temporary ID. Easy peasy. I don't know how we can make it any more easy for anyone to get a library card. And of course, like Patty said, we are mailing out new library cards, so they don't even have to come in here to get one if it gets mailed out to them. And then if you scroll down, the newest things that we have coming up program-wise will always be listed here. If you keep scrolling, This is all the stuff that we have going on, YouTube, Facebook Live, all of that. We have all kinds of things going on. Videos on demand as well that you could send out to your students. These ones right here are going to be available till August 31st. The science tellers, and they are fun little videos about different science ideas and projects and things that are really cute. And so all of that is there. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, of course, here is our contact information, and it's real clean. Now, there are a couple things that are different with this. So events will take you straight to there is our calendar. It is no longer hard to find anymore. You click events, and that is everything that's happening at the library. Really, really easy to see. Electronic resources, you click that, and then here is all of the electronic resources that we have for you. And depending on what your classroom needs, I can go into depth a little bit more about how you use some of these. And I think it's much cleaner and easier to see, and you just click it and it takes you straight to where you need to be. Books and more, downloadables, a little information about that. Services, now this is one that I do want to address because this is probably the thing that is most different about our new website. It is more clean. We have cleaned things up, but you might want to know where some stuff is. So patron services, if you click that, patron services, this is everything the library offers, okay? And it's all here, and if you need to know about faxing, you have to click it and it'll tell you if you need to know about any of these things. Now, some of these things we're not doing right now. So we're not doing one-on-one assistance. The recording studio is closed. We do have copying and faxing, but we aren't doing things like exam proctoring right now, and things like that. If you go to youth services, this page is going to look really different. The thing we're promoting right now, it'll show what we're promoting. And then if you scroll down, here's information about some of our programs and things down here. Teens has its own little button, and Lauren, her email address is right there. I do think this is much easier to go through. And then outreach services, a little bit about us and the bookmobile, and my email address is there. And education services, information about library visits and stuff. Now, we won't be doing library visits this fall, just because we probably would hit our capacity number if we had giant groups of students in. And all that information. So that is our new website. Really great. And I'll just click our little logo, and it should take us right back. Take me back. All right, does anybody have any questions for me that I can go ahead and start answering for you guys? We can do virtual one-on-one appointments for technology or resume writing. Can we do? Patty? Yes, we can. Okay, yeah, we can do virtual one-on-one appointments. And please, go ahead, Patty.
No, I typed that in as a reminder that we are making one-on-one appointments for technology help or resume writing. So if people have that, they just call and want to set up a time, and then we'll have somebody call them over the phone and set up an online appointment to help them. So.
Yeah. See. Okay, I should be back now. Let's see. Does anybody else have any questions? Anybody? Well, if nobody else has any questions, that's okay. And you can always email me. If I didn't go over something today that you really needed me to go over, please just personally email me. I will talk to you about whatever you need. And I appreciate everyone that has been here today. I really do. So I am going to save this recording, and it will go out to everyone as well, so that you can look at it if you need to. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Yes, I'm glad it was helpful. I really, really am. As things change, we will update. And if you need anything else, please just email me. Thank you for coming today. All right, bye.